Hey everybody! I'm here today to show you and tell you how to get used to being uncomfortable. I'll be going over some easy steps to follow to help you become more used to and accustomed to being uncomfortable. Now, being uncomfortable and having discomfort in general is generally a good thing because it allows for growth. So these are 5 ways that you can get used to being uncomfortable and get better, become better acquainted with that discomfort. Let's get right into the video. Number 1, the first thing is to start small. So you really want to start with something small that makes you uncomfortable. For instance, a new food, a new activity, a new driving route. You want to change something up that makes you uncomfortable, but just ever so slightly. So just something very, very small. Once you've done that, you can move on to sort of the second thing, which is to move on to bigger discomforts and uncomfortable situations. So instead of just taking one different turn on a driving route, try changing the driving route completely. Instead of, going through the different aisles in a grocery store in a different order, you want to go to a completely different grocery store. And I'm only saying that because I'm actually filming this at 11:15 on a Sunday night in a grocery store parking lot. So that's why I came up with that example. So it's Sunday night at 11:15 p.m. and I'm filming this in a grocery store parking lot because I wanted to film these videos, but I didn't want to wake up my wife and my 4 kids. So I decided to go for a drive to a parking lot. Okay. Anyways, you want to move on to bigger and greater discomforts because having more discomfort will allow you to have more growth. Okay. Number 3, the third thing that you can do to sort of get used to being uncomfortable, and the third step to follow is going to be to take regular, safe, and educated risks. Now, I would never recommend for someone to take a risk unless it is an educated and a safe risk. Okay, I am not a risk taker, but I have learned to take educated risks. Now, what does that mean? Well, essentially that means that I study the risk and I calculate the risk, and it ends up being a calculated risk, which is very, very little risk with a lot of potential reward for me. That's what I look for when I take risks. I look for very little downside with a massive upside with regards to potential. Obviously, anything can happen, but very little potential downside, very massive potential upside. So take regular, safe, and educated, calculated risks. The 4th step to follow along with regards to getting used to being uncomfortable and discomfort in general is to realize that growth happens outside of your comfort zone. So there's always those memes and those graphs where it's like, here's your comfort zone, growth happens outside of it. And it's true. You can grow while being comfortable. Of course you can. Anyone that tells you you can't is lying to you. You can grow while being comfortable, but your growth will be very, very limited. Okay, you can sort of think of it as like inflation. Like you're going to grow the minimum inflation growth amount, right? Inside of your comfort zone, but to grow faster than the inflation growth, if you can imagine that there's an inflation of growth, like everyone grows a certain amount a year. That's the inflation growth, how much everyone grows on average per year. You want to grow more than that, right? So you need to get outside of your comfort zone to grow more than that inflation growth percentage, if you can sort of imagine that. Okay, so you need to get out of your comfort zone at least a little bit to grow. Okay, and I'll go over a few things at the end of the video as well, so stay tuned. Lastly, number 5 is to continually ground yourself and remind yourself that everything is going to be okay. I have to continually do this with myself all the time. Believe it or not, despite the fact that I seem like so I don't want to say calm. I'm not calm on film, as you can see, but I'm very pumped up. But I seem so collected and well thought out, and I am. Everything that I do is planned out, but, the nature of my lifestyle, having a full-time job as a full-time elementary school teacher, having this channel, which is completely my own. It's just me. I don't have a team. I own the channel. I started it myself. It's literally just me. I don't even ask anybody for help at all. It's just me and my tripods doing the work, essentially. Having a wife that I try to, show as much love as I can to, and 4 young kids that I try to be around with as much as possible. As much as I seem collected and I am and I'm planned out, my life is still uncomfortable to the maximum degree that it can be. So at the end of the day, you need to constantly ground yourself and remind yourself over and over again that it's going to be okay. So essentially, with that grounding, you're going to, give yourself the best chance of success. So when it comes to being uncomfortable, you know that you need to get uncomfortable to become successful, to grow, to better yourself. You need to. But it's a matter of taking small steps. So you can take a couple small steps towards this area of discomfort, and then those small steps can lead to larger steps and larger steps. And eventually you're going to be well out of your comfort zone. It's just a matter of taking those small steps first. You know, let's say you want to start working out and you've never worked out before and it makes you uncomfortable. Well, the first thing that I would do is I would go to the gym, and because at one point I hadn't worked out. I started working out when I was about 15, 16, and I stopped for a long time, and right now I'm in the stopped mode. You know, I don't work out now, but I did work out for 10 years straight, pretty much 365 days a year. That's why at that point I was super jacked. But you know, I would go to the gym and I would walk around the gym first. I would look at the machines. There's usually these diagrams on all the machines, and I would look and observe each and every machine, and I would look at what other people were doing. If a person looks fit and jacked and built and ripped, I would watch what they're doing. Not in a creepy kind of way, but in like a, you know, like curious kind of way. And I would watch what they were doing, and I would look up exercises at the gym, and I'd, you know, go on like that. And then eventually I'd try, you know, a machine that I felt comfortable with. Then eventually I would try free weights. Then eventually on and on and on. You continue getting out of your comfort zone. So that's it. With regards to how to get used to being uncomfortable, easy steps to follow. Those are 5 steps to follow, and I sort of went on a little bit on a tangent about how you can get uncomfortable in a situation like working out for the first time, as an example. But that is truly it. If you like this video tutorial, whatever you want, whatever type of video you want to call it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment, and of course be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.